Charlie. Happens a lot.
Hello, everybody.
Greetings, friends, Romans, countrymen.
I'm Dave.
I'm Jeff.
And this is the one and only podcast on the net dedicated 100% to
the greatest game in the world, and that would be, of course, Advanced Squad Leader. Advanced Squad Leader.
So what's up, Jeff?
Well, I had an interesting week. Last week I went on my annual fishing trip, which we go on every year. Thus the word annual.
What I was going to say.
And this was our 31st year, which tells you I started going when I was 2. So this is our 31st year. I've only missed 1 year, and it was fun. We go to northern Wisconsin, and we always rent the same place. They've got a couple cabins for us. It's a small compound. And but next year, they're going to be renting out the main, well, they're going to be taking over the main house to live in. So they'll only have one cabin for us to rent. So we're going to have to split the group and send the other half somewhere else.
No.
There are not a lot of places up there. There are not a lot of facilities for people like us. They've all turned into condos. And
so you'll have to split the group?
We're going to split the group. So we'll have 4 people in this little cabin that we've been in for years and years and years. And then the other 4 will be across the street and down about just about a half a mile. And the lakes are connected, so we can get to them and they can get to us by boat. It's just a little inconvenient. So and since I'm one of the original founders, I can say who goes where. So I'm going to put the people I don't like in that other area. But we always have fun. We catch a little fish. We read books. We talk pithy and erudite conversations and solve nothing and drink a little bit and have a nice time. It was very good.
And they did catch fish. You did not.
They caught fish. I bought a license this year. I just want to support the Department of Natural Resources in Wisconsin. So I thought I'll buy the license. I don't have to actually go fishing. So that's my contribution to nature. What have you been up to? Oh, sorry.
Well, you cook the fish.
I cooked, yes. Annually. It's the only time during the year when I get a big pot full of boiling oil. And then we just throw everything in there. Throw in whatever after we're done cooking the fish, we throw potatoes in there. Let's see what happens. We'll throw bacon in there. Sometimes if we've got any candy or cookies or something, we'll go ahead and fry those a little bit. Just see what happens.
Come across a frog, tear off its legs, fried frog legs.
We try not to be cruel to animals, but I did go to the cleaning house and watched one of the guys cleaning the fish. Not a guy I normally watch clean the fish. And so he takes the fish, and I'm not a fisherman. And I'm sure all the fishermen out here that are listening to this are going to laugh at me, but he takes the fish and he takes the back of his knife and whacks the fish on the head to kind of stun it so that it will not flop around while he's trying to clean it. It's horrible. It's chamber of horrors.
Wouldn't you just kill it instead?
How would you kill a fish? You strangle it? I don't know. What do? Trip it and have it fall down the stairs? Break its neck? I don't know. How do you kill a fish?
Hit it harder in the head than just a light, gentle whack.
It did seem like a gentle whack, and the fish was just like, his eyes are rolling around. He's like, what the heck? Why are you hitting me? You call that a hit? I'm going to hit you back. Yeah.
Well, we have the man doing our soffits and gutters. This week. He's been here all week. He's really cool, Todd. Doing great work. It looks really like quality work. So that's kind of fun. And then the squirrels, we did get rid of. I don't remember if we talked about this on the air. The ones that were coming through the screens. So we did trap them. Yeah, I don't know.
They're letting themselves into your house. Is that right?
We saw the seed bag in the sunroom torn open. We thought mice, and then realized maybe not. Laura thought chipmunks from the backyard or the squirrels. And then I came down from the shower, turned the corner, and there was the squirrel just sitting in the house, and ran around in a circle, and then he leapt through the tear that we had in our screen.
Oh, thank God he let himself out.
So right, and that thing just opened up. He went right through there, and then I put in the aluminum screening, which it's a horrendous job. Don't have me do your screening. And then he came around to the window in the side, and I heard a tick, 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 and I thought he was trying to break through the skylights with a rock breaking on the glass.
Yeah.
But he was eating on the screen with his teeth hanging upside down, ripping. And so we had to get rid of him. So the neighbor lady brought over the trap, and I managed to catch the wife on the night before, and wanted to catch him, but I didn't get it done before sunset. And then next morning,
How did you know it was a wife squirrel? Was she wearing an apron?
She's a little smaller in stature.
Was she
And she
preparing
had curlers in
for
her.
her husband?
What?
Was she preparing a nice meal for her husband?
Yeah. Well, once we got him out there, I told Laura, I think this the females out there, when hopefully they met up the next day, because I think she was saying to her husband, like, we had it so good. We had a bird bath, we had a fountain, we had a feeder, and so good. And you had to go break in the house to get more food. So anyway, I don't think they've come back. I looked this morning, I opened that window and put bird seed in and looked down, and it looked like him again, but I don't think it is him. So these two we have new squirrels, and our new squirrels were tentatively coming in the backyard, like, where's those other more brown, bigger ones that always chase us away?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, maybe we'll just start coming here and eating this seed, but they've not come up on the stoop. They haven't been eating the wood on the stoop. And they have not, no one's attacked the screening yet.
Thank gosh.
So that adventure, as you say, no animal cruelty. I didn't want to
Yeah.
give them a bath or
Right.
blow their brains out with that pistol we found at my mom's house. So.
Yeah. They are relentless. It's amazing. We got an order from Amazon not too long ago of dates from North Africa. We get them from Morocco, Moroccan dates, big dates. And I didn't know squirrels like dates, but man, they tore into that box. The guy dropped it off, and I thought, oh, I'll go get that later, and I forgot about it. So it was an hour later. They tore into the box, and they were halfway through these dates. I mean, it's crazy. But we do love them, but they're a pain.
Yeah, so these new ones, yeah. Anytime they pop up on that stoop, the wooden, stair, I'm just gonna, I don't know what.
Don't put dates.
Really try and scare them.
Yeah.
Hey, we went to the Volo. Have you been to the Volo Museum lately?
I have not been to the Volo Museum, the auto museum, ever in Volo, Illinois.
Oh,
no.
Jeff, that's the Red Baron model car.
Oh,
Remember
it is?
that with the helmet and the...
Yeah. So you went there with your stepdad?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's very cool. Oh, and a dinosaur.
Now they have a whole Jurassic Park area.
Oh, my gosh. The Batmobile, is that the Batmobile?
Yeah, 1966, I think.
Wow. Oh, the Munsters? Man.
It's Grandpa's dragster.
Yeah.
And their big house, or their big car.
Their big car, the hearse.
And...
oh, the land speeder from Star Wars.
Yeah. And then if you're into just Army, they have an Army museum with all kinds of weaponry, artillery. They got a half-track SDKF 251 and a U.S. personal carrier from Vietnam, and all kinds of classic cars.
Oh, that's fascinating. I did not know all that was there.
It has really expanded, so we should go.
Yeah, it's worth the trip, huh?
Yes.
Good.
All right, and then before we get into the show, I'll do what I've been playing lately.
Okay.
I know we've been playing our Star Wars, but don't get sick while I move this camera. Quick rundown. All right, this is a game from the Winter Offensive Pack. The Chinese have to take, well, actually just get a squad up on a level 3,
Mm-hmm.
which I accomplished here. All the Chinese units in here. And then have more people on level 2 and 3 than the Greeks who are over here. Dave Timonen's Greeks.
The Greeks against the Chinese, huh?
United Nations forces.
Yeah. Interesting.
Other UN forces.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was kind of cool. And I came on from the side behind their mountain that they're still on. They were on all 3 to start.
Mm.
The Chinese in this Korean thing, their prep fire is half. We have to revisit this. All their prep is halved. All.
Thus,
And
don't prep.
just a prep. So it's okay to defensive fire, but
Yeah.
they want you moving.
Yeah, that's it.
And then they have this impulse movement, but it's not a human wave. So you don't enter their hex as far as we could figure out, too.
Okay.
We have to talk to the designers again sometime soon. But that was pretty fun. It's deluxe. It's from the Winter Offensive Pack, Spartan style.
Okay. Yeah, I did remember that, talking about that one.
Yeah, and I was just getting brutalized with a heavy machine gun and a neg 2 liter, just vaporizing my guys coming up in the open with this impulse move. And he wiped out 8 whole squads coming up the backside of that mountain.
Wow.
And then luckily, and I thought I had lost already, when suddenly I had these 2 peaks and was like, oh, I'm on level 3, and boy, let's count number of victory points left. And I was 2 ahead of him. So then it was a game of we're shooting across the mountains at each other.
Really?
Just trying to break someone.
How many turns were left at that point?
2. So we had this cool battle up the mountains.
Yeah.
And then didn't have to take the 3rd one. So we sat shooting each other.
We're shooting at each other.
Yeah. And then I'm realizing, like, should have come around the back, or did the skulking up the hill and whatnot. So anyway, a lot of fun. Anyone else play it? Let us know what's up with that.
Yeah. Good. Good.
All right. On with the show.
On with the show.
All right. Let's take a look at the Einor that we tried last time. So I went ahead and got that. So let's take a look. Hey, everybody. Let's take a quick look at what's in the box. Green Hell of Einor. Or do you sell Enor? By Lefranc Terre. This little puppy. You get 2 booklets. One is the rules. The rules.
It's time for rules. You need the rules to play the game.
No, not those rules. And it's got some designer notes in the back. Nice ad for River Creek on the very, very back. And much more. Introduction, abbreviations, terrain, Einor scenario special rules, campaign game special rules, refit phase, and refit phase procedures. Got the good old big page that shows the map in miniature, which is always good. Some definitions. Terrain we're going to find in Greenhead of Einor has the levels ranging from -1 to level 5, and roads and paths. Dirt road, brown, gray road, paved. Buildings, there's some cellar rules here. Steeple's going to be on this thing. Grain, plowed fields. Now they do have this unique plowed fields and this artwork that sets up different kind of look to them. 2 types of woods, got the light woods and the standard woods, darker color, and light woods, lighter color on this map. That's helpful. River barges, now we're getting special here. River barges, They're depicted on the map. They cannot move. They're treated as wooden buildings at level 0, except they're not considered a building for rally and route and street fighting. Obviously, no fortifications can set up there. Only infantry can enter a river barge, 2 movement factor cost, and only from adjacent ground hex. If rubbled, the river barge is destroyed and sunk, as you might guess. Then that river hex just becomes a sunken barge counter. There are rules for wood debris, rubble, connecting trenches. The connecting trenches rule reads, I think, kind of like the other rules from the Red Barricades and stuff about that. Trenches are considered to connect to all adjacent buildings, exception river barges. Rubble or gully locations and all trench connections open into only the cellar, if that exists in that hex, and then talks about moving into and out of. So maybe it's a simplified verbiage of that. Haven't compared the two. But what's really unique here and neat is the way they've broken this map board down into zones. The Bois de Soage, the Bois de la Hache, they're color coded here. So you can see like pink is A is over here, description of the area on the map, and then a visual depiction of the area on the map. So I like that. Very nice. And then it gets into the special rules, and we'll probably take a deeper look at all these rules at a later time if we're going to revisit this product. Again, designer notes in the back. And the historical background book, but let me read a little bit of the editor's foreword. They've got some special rules with the OBA, that this battle is a very OBA heavy battle, and yet they don't want to use all the other kinds of rules. So they have some special like interdiction OBA that they're going to use as well on this, and hoping that that's a simpler way to do some of the things you may want to do with OBA in your own designs. Some words about the French campaign in 1940, and he says it appeared in LFT 11, some 12 years ago. A lot has been said and also written about the French defeat during May and June of 1940. Sure, the German victory happened to be extremely fast, and the French army was literally blasted away, despite being, for that time, one of the most powerful armies of its era, as far as strength, manpower, and figures were concerned. Many people, including French citizens, still think that the French soldiers in 1940 just fled. And then he goes on to talk about some statistics here to maybe get us to rethink our understanding of that. That 45 days of fighting, the daily German loss total was higher in France than during Barbarossa. Now, maybe Barbarossa is a bigger area, but during the fighting for Stone, the village changed hands 17 times in a single day. The French soldiers' sacrifice at Dunkirk allowed 340,000 Allied troops to withdraw. The French army casualties were 90,000 killed in action and 270,000 wounded. And the Germans suffered 64,000 casualty KIAs and 110,000 wounded. So he says what is true is that the French Army General Staff at the division and corps level were completely corrupted by old views and a lack of imagination when it came to the enemy of the time. But the frontline soldiers, battalions, companies, and platoons were made of real soldiers who fought well and sacrificed their lives for their country. So it makes a good point. Let us all maybe reconsider. This is a really good looking product, what we're used to getting from LFT. And the article on the French 1940 campaign, historical look, and a really cool looking Einor battlefield tour. And they're showing the map there. Here's the zones we looked at in the other book, put onto a real photograph of the battlefield aerial view. Some of the guys looking a little older and grayer, a lot like me. And Jeff. Posing with the map at the sign to Einor. you know, just again, they do the views of where the map is, what looks like, well, today on these pages. Here they are, the guys looking confusedly at the map, trying to figure out where they are. You know. Really cool stuff. Then there's the battle, which has the battle maps with the troop movements, stuff we're used to, and the fort of La Ferté, where they take some photographs along the Maginot Line. This is, I think, one of the areas that said that anchored. But I'm loving this close. You know, you read about these things in other accounts, and then you get to see these illustrations of block 1 and block 2 from the Maginot Line, how the interior looked, where the ammo was stored, and so on, the tunnels and things like that. That's pretty cool, along with a lot of pictures of the cupolas, or do you say cupolas, built into the cliff, which really becomes clear how the forts were built in to the surrounding terrain. You can see in all these pictures that they have great article, cornerstone of the Maginot Line, historical look at it the day before, and Franco-German infantry tactics, 2 schools of thought on in collision. Oh, 2 schools of thought in collision. I haven't read it yet, but I'm assuming German maneuver, attack, Panzer tanks, and French sticking to World War I tactics, maybe, and some of the army layouts, OBA kind of related stuff. Colonial army with some of the troops that were brought in from the colonial possessions of the French Empire at the time. Yeah, looking good. Looking forward to reading this thing through all the way. And again, a picture, I like the way they do the map. And then the historical aerial photo, picture of their own map, superimposed, showing how that all fits together. So nice product. You're going to get a bunch of scenarios as usual. And it looks like 111. Oh no, that's campaign game 3, Roman numeral 3. So is it 3 campaign games? With rosters and charts. And that's campaign game 1, Pride of the Foreign Legion, Einor 15, assuming these go in order. I haven't looked through these. I could do a deep dive later. I know some of you don't like those so much, but and the maps don't take place. You know, some of them use different boards. For example, this one here, Hill 311, has board 58 and 70, and lots take place on the Einor board in the small sections, like, you know, we're used to for most of the products that we get that are campaign games at this time. And then we have usual player aids with the great Lefranc Terror rat guy on there. If you like him, maybe you don't like it on your charts. Graph French player tables. This one German player tables. 2-sided too. And in-game rosters, usual stuff you'll find. Interdicted German reinforcement chart. I don't know. I think it relates to the interdiction OBA, perhaps. I'll look at it deeper. Get that to you. Counter sheets. I got 2 here with my set, and I am having problems figuring out what these guys are here. They Marines. They got an anchor symbol, maybe, I think, on the counter. But looking through, it's a whole sheet of infantry squads. 2 different symbols. Oh, maybe that one is the French Foreign Legion symbol in miniature. It's hard to tell. The other ones have these stars on them. white, blue stars and black background. And those are in the rules here. The groups, the Francs, in most French battalions, they existed. It was formed out of volunteers equipped with automatic weapons. It got better allotment of hand grenades than normal. They were tasked for coup de main and reconnaissance missions. They're like elite 4.58s and 4 or 5.37s. Artwork. They got the cool artwork that they usually have kind of on this new products, and they have their uniforms seem to be different. A guy in a red shirt and a guy in some kind of khaki outfit. So volunteers, that would probably explain that. And then this sheet, concealment counters on that sheet 1. Sheet 2 is comprised of the Senegalese, I think, 14th, 15th Regiment of the Tirailleurs, Algerian. Yeah, and there's a picture in the. So these are explained rule book very well, and they come in both African American, black and white skin color, in 2 different sections on the counter sheet, and here a complement of weapons with the new artwork, demolition charges, support weapons, some cool artillery counters to indicate the interdiction and counter battery fire. Interdiction artillery is new for this thing. Some fighter bombers for the Germans and the French. Cool looking sniper counters and sunken ships. Well, probably the barges, right? They'll get laid on top of the barges. So the 2 counter sheets from Le there's green Eleanor. The map, I don't like it's got, I don't know if you can see it here, but mine's kind of wiggly, bent. It looks like the map didn't fold up very well for shipping here. There's 2 map sheets, and they strike me immediately as looking a lot like a Comps Group Piper maps. I've done a good job of trying to match like the different levels, all the way from the very low -1 up to level 5 up here in the woods. Thence you can see the plowed fields and the regular fields, and Justin Fields throwing the football for the Bears, and farm, Orchard Line Road running along the whole bottom there. And the other map, which folded up a little better, but it's still awfully wrinkly here. This one has the canal along the bottom. That. And the village down here with that Einor all along the road. Very cool, very detailed buildings. And again, roads leading up into the hills, the forests, and into the green hell of Einar. And that is a deep dive. Well, no, it's a quick look at everything in the green hell of Einar. Frank, back to you, Jeff and Dave.
Well, that was cool, Dave. Thank you for doing that. And then we've got another little clip that we're going to add on here that we recorded previously when we did our 300th episode. Rich Spilkey and Mike Rizzi and Rich Spilkey's son were here. Jared was here. And we did a little quiz show, which was very entertaining.
Everybody loves quiz show.
Everybody loves quiz show. And so we're going to plop that in right here and let you be entertained. We're going to share the love.
Here it is.
He had a boogie style that no one else could play. He was the top man at his craft.
Hip hooray, we're living in the USA. Come on, you Yanks, all holler thanks. Hip, hip, hooray.
Welcome back, everybody, and now it's time for another episode of Quiz Show.
All right, everybody. That music means it's time for
Quiz show. Yay!
the old kind
Studio
of
audience.
quiz show. The old kind of quiz show where we have teams playing, and here we have team. What's the name of the Spilky team?
How about the Spilky team?
Yeah, Team Spilky. How about that? Not very creative, but we'll take it.
It's Team Spilky against
The Black Riders of the Night of Death.
the Black Riders of the Night of Death.
Wow.
I'm
That's a
honored.
scary team.
Yeah.
Spilkies versus the world, and I would think Spilkies would win. No offense, Mike Rizzi. I know.
No, it's
I know you
fine.
know
No,
the rules.
You just know that Mike is working with a
It's-
We
handy.
can beat you with half our brain tied behind our back.
Yeah.
If it's ASL questions, it's it's gonna be tough for me, but
Don't
I'll see what I can do.
don't
We're not
underestimate
afraid.
yourself.
We're not frightened.
I trust my dad's judgment on ASL over mine.
Ready?
Remember, I just said in the last podcast that I have read the rules for 400 hours, which was a complete
Yeah.
guess on my part.
It's got to be more than that. Got to be.
This question is for Team Spilky. Jared, what do the counters do during the prep fire phase?
Am I allowed to consult with my teammate?
No, it's
Well,
the
wait a
prep
minute.
fire phase. What do
team.
they
It's a
do?
team.
Oh, they prepare to fire, obviously.
Rich,
Yeah.
Can he phone a friend, Rich? Yeah, consult with your dad. What do they do, Rich?
Well, generally they can fire, but there's other things they can do too.
There
But I
you
don't think
go.
they're asking for more than that.
No,
They actually
no,
do
but
fire. They
but-
don't prepare to fire, they fire.
I'd like to.
But it's
hear the
called
rest.
what phase? It's called prep fire.
Prep
Fire.
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 Okay,
like
well, you'll have to forgive me
preparatory-
then for thinking it means they're preparing to fire. When you call it
Yeah,
prep
well,
fire.
no, it's not unreasonable that you thought that, but it's preparatory fire. It's like, preparing the ground or preparing for an advance or something like that.
Okay, I see.
And Rich, what else can they do during the prep? Now that you
Well, they can dig an entrenchment.
Oh,
They can,
There's
what
a-
else can they do? Can they, I guess searching you do in the movement phase. But if you prep fired, you couldn't do that in the movement phase. So you gotta
yeah.
not prep fire, but I do believe you dig an entrenchment. What else do you do in the prep fire phase? You can do star shells, I think,
Yeah.
at night for night scenarios.
Yes.
What else can you do? Gosh, I don't know. I'm sure there's more, but that's all I can think of.
That's good because I was thinking all they could do is prep fire.
Well, you're new
Ready, Team Black Riders of the Night.
of death.
If a fanatic half squad recombines with a half squad that's not fanatic, is the resulting squad fanatic?
Yes, because fanaticism is catchy.
It is sketchy.
I would say no. How do
Oh.
we resolve these disagreements
Consult
within
with
the
each
Black
other.
Riders?
Fisticuffs.
All right.
Your final
I'm dodging.
answer?
I'm going to go with Mike's answer. No,
That is correct, Team
Black Riders of the Night
Against
of
the
Death.
World. The Plague Riders of the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Team Spilky.
Oh, I thought of one more thing you could do in prep fire phase. You can opportunity fire.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
of course.
Go.
And that one I sometimes remember because it's on the counter, on the other side.
Good point.
If a piece is set up in a half hex between two allowed boards, does it count against scenarios, specified setup limitations on both sides of those boards?
Could you say again, please?
If a piece is set up between two allowed boards on a half hex, does that count against the setup limitations on both boards?
I'll defer to my partner on that one.
Jared.
Just I think you just got to do a morale check, roll low, get snake eyes, and then you win, right? That's how
That's
this game
correct.
works, right?
That is
Just-
correct. Yes.
Just roll low, and then
yes
you'll be
is the
good.
right answer.
Okay.
It counts, which I never knew that. That's
Aren't
cool.
they marked TI because they have to hold the boards together the whole scenario? That's,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Boy,
All
I'm
right.
really in over my head in this game, in this contest, guys.
We didn't
You're
know.
2 for 2, Jared. You're 2 for 2. You're doing great.
Team.
Black Riders of the Night of Death. Can't
Right.
go
So,
with that
So for me, the answer is always roll low.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Just
That,
roll
that
low.
will,
Just just roll low. You'll be good.
And rally well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Not when you're playing us. Thanks
That's
for
a
good
listening, everyone.
go-to answer. You'll win most of the time.
Yes.
All right. If during the rally phase, no, the route phase, enemy units in the same location, not in melee. Oh no, this is the rally phase.
okay.
Start again. If during the rally phase, enemy units in the same location, not in melee, wish to recover the same weapon. Wait, who goes first? No, it's be the route phase, right? Because it's
I'm gonna s-
enemy units in the same location.
I'm
Not
going to
in
start off.
melee.
I'm going to start off with my thoughtful look.
Boy, you need your mug.
Interesting question, Dave.
Well, you guys can answer it. It's your question, but I'm
Right,
not going to
well,
answer it. But this is a very extremely rare event that maybe I've seen once in my whole 30-some, 40-some years of ASL. It's extremely rare.
Yeah,
I've never.
but
But
you never know. It might come.
This
up-
is in the rally phase?
use your no, it can't.
No, it
be.
would be in the route phase.
It has to be the route phase, right?
Well, I thought you said you wanted to recover the weapon, though.
yeah, that would be rally phase.
So it's route. Can you be in this? Yeah, you can. You're in.
It's possible, but it's really rare.
Oh, I think it's if both are concealed. That's an
Exactly. But if you try to recover something, you lose concealment.
Okay, but they both could try to conceal it. They're both concealed, right? They advanced in melee, but they didn't end up revealed. They're not held in melee.
You're right. They're not in
Okay.
melee.
So who can do
Right.
it first? This
Well,
is
if they're-
kind of logical,
Yes, this
Mike.
is ours. Yes. The attacker goes first. So
That's right.
there you go.
So there is some logic to the
Yes.
ASL, right? Because it's his phase. Crazy.
Okay.
Oh, let's see. You can tell I prepared.
I mean, the odds of having 2 units not in melee in the rally phase and having an unrecovered weapon at the same time, I don't know what the odds are of that, but it's extremely low.
It's
Yeah.
like getting hit by lightning. What is the cost for infantry to move to a higher level that also crosses a hedge?
This is for Team Spilkey.
Team Spilkey.
Well, I'll let my opponent. I'll tell you this, Jared. It normally just costs 1 movement factor to move into open ground. It costs double movement factor to move uphill, which is what Dave's talking about. And you also got to pay a 1 movement factor penalty for going over a hedge.
What would that be, Jerry?
Do you mind briefly saying the question one more time?
Yes. Do you not see the hint? Oh, I scratched my beard.
Oh, yeah. 3.
Oh, yes. And your dad was right. He was clarifying why it's
Yeah.
3. See,
But
I
it's
might
some,
have-
the question was about crossing a hedge, or sorry, I
it doesn't
must have heard the question very well.
it doesn't really matter. But
I
I
thought
might
it
have
was-
said
I thought
Oh,
you said crossing a hedgehog with
no,
with
those
like
are
a biology
that doesn't
biology
cost-
experiment. No, okay,
it doesn't cost extra movement factors
okay.
because they're too small. Team Death Against the World. If a multi-man counter is
Black Riders of
attacking,
the Night of Death.
if a multi-man counter is attacking a single man counter, by infantry overrun, and the option to move the single man counter to an accessible location is chosen, can the single man counter be moved into the hex from which the multi-man counter is entering the single man counter's location? So the squad wants to overrun you and you get to move away on a infantry overrun. Can you move into their square hex?
Could you repeat the question, please?
No, complicated.
It's like me.
What do you
If you're trying to
think?
consult your attorney, I'm right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The answer would be no,
Bing, 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 bing.
unless they have chocolate.
Jeff, were you gonna sing a song?
Unless they have chocolate, you said?
It's actually peanut butter, but close enough.
Jeff killed a mouse.
Not just now.
Thought I'd share.
You did
Oh,
that
good
just
for
now?
you.
He got one
Not just now. No.
yesterday.
Yeah, this morning.
Good job.
Crushed its little head.
Wow.
And he enjoyed it.
I did.
Jeez. It's like Lord of the Flies over there.
I put him just outside, so as a warning to other mice.
Yeah. Put it on a steak like Lord of the
Yeah.
Flies.
Yep.
Team Spilky. If a single man counter is being attacked by an infantry overrun, can it choose the option of being moved to an accessible location if it's already marked first fire counter?
Well, I don't know what that is, but I would say in life, generally you have a choice. So I'm going to lean towards that you do have a choice. You usually do. But the real answer is I'll defer to my dad because he actually knows what that question was.
Phone a friend.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question. First of all,
He first fired.
these, yeah, I understand, but like, first of all, infantry overruns are actually kind of hard to do. In other words, if you've got a multi-man counter and then, and I've got a single man counter, say, and you want to do an infantry overrun, you can't just do it. You can't just announce you have to pass some kind of a morale check. And then you have to, like, as I recall, you have to like double the TEM that the single man counter is in as a die roll modifier, to your morale check. So the odds of actually succeeding and causing a single man counter overrun are, not high. They're hard to do. You can't just say I'm doing a single man counter overrun. But anyway, that's not your question. I don't know if you've already first fired, can you leave? I don't know, but I'll say no.
No is correct.
Okay. So good thing I
Okay,
deferred.
The logic of the rules.
This is easy.
How about this one? Team whose name I can't pronounce or remember. If a
Black
stack of
Riders of the Night
units.
of Death.
Sorry, what is that again?
Black Riders of the Night of Death.
Black Riders. If a stack of units is moving together and a unit in the stack expends movement factors to place a smoke grenade, then must. Uh-oh, my pages are out of order. Must other units in the stack also expend the same movement factor if they are to continue to move together as a stack? You got a stack. One of the dudes wants to place a DC or something, and the stack still move together. Do they all have to pay that?
Yeah.
cost? Mike, you agree?
I don't agree.
Oh,
Well,
they want to
Well-
continue moving as a stack.
As a stack,
yeah, I'd say they have to.
yes.
They all take the
Yes,
penalty.
is the right answer.
One guy, there's always one guy that wrecks it for everybody.
Yeah, just slow,
That's just the
slow
way
down.
it is. Yeah. Heck, stop placing smoke. We're trying to get somewhere.
Yeah.
Team Spilke. When a stack of units is moving together, can the different units in the stack perform different actions in their hex when simultaneously expending one movement factor? For example, can one guy do the smoke, another one recover a support weapon, one guy have some tea?
Wow, that's a really great question. I don't know.
I think you can have
These
you can
are-
have coffee, but not tea, right?
Yeah.
I think the tea might be illegal.
Unless
I
it's the British.
Right. And let the
Right.
British, but when the British have tea, they get like a morale boost, right? I'm
That's
sure in
right.
the game.
Yeah.
And they can just like really they'll fight they'll fight way better if you give them the tea. I'm
Yep,
sure.
that's one of the nationalities.
You know, I wanted to rewind to Mike and Jeff's question, or the Black Widows, or whatever they're calling themselves over there.
Wow.
Uh,
Disrespect to
Black
that
Riders.
name.
Black Riders of the Night of Death.
Sorry. Because like in the case where you were describing, okay, so you got 2 squads moving, say, as a stack with a leader, so they have 6 movement factors, whatever. And then the one guy tries to throw smoke, and then we agreed that they all had to pay the 2 movement factor or the 1 movement factor penalty for throwing the smoke, depending on, what hex they're throwing in. My question was, I know this wasn't your question, Dave, but if you roll a 6 when you're trying to play smoke, you have to stop moving. So my question was going to be, if you rolled a 6 on your smoke attempt, would everybody have to stop moving, or just the guy who was trying to place the smoke?
Everybody.
Everybody, yeah, I would think.
And this segment's brought to you by Pedal Hard Ginger Beer. It's a beer with ginger. Ginger
Ah.
beer.
I'll have to try that sometime.
Yeah,
Where can I find it?
I don't know.
Local
Oh.
Julasco?
in Dave's
I don't know
backpack.
I don't know the name of the liquor store down the street.
Okay.
They know your name though. You're in there all the time. Here comes Dave.
All right, so back to our question. So
Yeah.
if one guy is going to play smoke, and one guy is going to recover a weapon, and one guy is going to place a demo charge or whatever, can they? And let's say
Aim.
they all cost 1 movement factor in this
Yes.
example, based on what they're doing.
Hmm.
Can they do it simultaneously, or are they separate and they all are additive together against one another? I'm gonna say you can do them all simultaneously, and they all count as just 1 for everybody, is what I'm gonna say.
That is correct.
Makes
Wow.
sense.
That's
So did you know the
amazing.
answer to your question, Rich? Is that true? When the
No,
one
I don't
squad
think
was-
so. I don't think so.
I didn't think so
because,
either, yeah.
I mean, I think the one guy would have to stop. Now, everybody spent the
Yeah.
2 movement factors and the 1 movement factor in your question for the placing of the smoke attempt, but only the guy, in my opinion, I could be wrong, but if you roll a 6, I think just the guy that rolled the 6 has to stop, and everybody else can keep moving. Granted, they have less movement factors than they would have had otherwise.
yeah. Yeah, actually,
Well,
that does sound correct.
But I don't know. Otherwise, you might as well have both squads attempt to throw smoke at the same time to increase your odds, assuming they both have a smoke exponent, capability.
Right.
I was making up my answer.
Yeah, I've done that a lot. Like when I really, really want smoke, I'll move a stack of guys that have smoke exponents with a leader to get the extra 2 movement factors, and they'll both try to throw smoke into the same hex
Hmm.
in hopes that that increases my chances of, getting it there if I really need it in a given case.
Okay.
Question then, what team am I on?
It's
Black Riders of the Night of Death.
yes,
Okay,
those guys.
Black Orchid team. 2-part question. Part 1, for
True.
Jeff.
Okay.
Can vehicles set up in buildings?
Yes.
Correct.
Well, wait a minute.
No, that's
Sometimes.
part B. That's part B.
Okay,
I
okay.
think. Let's see if,
Okay, well, yes is sort of right.
okay. And then part B for Black Orchid player number 2.
Yes.
If they can set up in buildings, do you roll for sellers?
Yes, you do.
Is it Peter Sellers?
It can be.
It can be Peter Sellers. So Rich, is that what you were thinking?
No, I wasn't. I was thinking like open top vehicles can't set up in buildings, and
Oh, right.
I don't think armored cars can set up in, because your question was AFVs.
It-
Only
that-
closed top, fully tracked vehicles can set up in a building, I believe. And you don't roll for BOG, if I'm not mistaken, if you take that option, unless some special rule says you do.
No, I
Right.
think you're right. Yeah, this.
Oh, and you
actually was
don't
good.
roll for the seller either, I don't think. I think you just get to do it for free if you're allowed to do it.
No, you don't. Mike was right. How about, oh, the ginger beer is, it's very delicious.
Man, it must be paying the half squads great sponsorship money, the Ginger Beer Company.
Oh yeah, this show is brought to you by who, Jeff?
Founding Fire Productions.
That's right. Founding Fire Productions, maker of fine ASL products. Rich, you must enjoy Founding Fire production products, right?
I work for Bounding Fire Productions. I am a minor employee in their vast world of helpers.
That makes
I'm an
it
elf.
even
I'm an
more-
elf in the workshop.
That's even more cool.
Yeah, that is.
So I have to say nice things about BFP, but I would have anyway.
Yes, he would have anyway, people.
Yeah.
We forgot to plug on our last 300. Here's a question. Team Spilky.
All right.
Can a minimum move be used by a multi-man counter to conduct an infantry overrun against an adjacent single man counter?
I'm gonna go with sure. Why not?
You are correct.
Possibilities are endless, right? Why not?
Right.
If you're a multi-man infantry counter, I don't think you should limit yourself in life. I think you can do anything. Just because you're a multi-man infantry counter doesn't mean you can't do tank stuff. Well, it probably does mean that, but you can still imagine it. Like you can be your best self if you're a multi-man counter.
That'll have to be the name of this show.
Yeah.
Do tank stuff.
You can do tank stuff, Jared. You can shoot a Panzerfaust. You can do an anti-tank magnetic mine. You
Yeah.
can place a demo charge. You can fire a
Anti-tank.
flamethrower. You can
But-
do all kinds of anti-tank stuff.
Can I do like airplane stuff like Tom Cruise and Top Gun 2? Probably not. I probably can't fly a plane.
Yeah.
Well, they do have airplanes in ASL. They're not used very often, but there is air power.
Yeah, I mean, it was a factor in the war, so it should be in there. It was a big factor in the war, right? So
Mhm.
it should be in there.
Oh, yeah.
Team Black Panther. Suppose a squad carrying.
Black
Thank you,
Riders
Jared.
of the Night of
Suppose the squad is carrying 6 portage points, leaving it with 1 movement factor, and it uses minimum move to move into an adjacent building X. For defensive first fire purposes, is it considered to have spent only 1 movement factor in that building X or 2? Ding. Time is up. Go for the steal, Team Spilky.
No,
Oh,
hey,
sorry, Mike.
I was just giving Jeff an opportunity.
Yeah.
2.
I'm going to pass along.
It would be
to-
2 points.
You are correct. 2. Did you put the echo on that, Jeff? That was cool.
So let me get this straight, Dave. So let me think about what you were saying. Let's say I am a multi-man counter. I'm not CX. Let's say I'm not CX. So I have 3 IPC. And let's say I have a heavy machine gun with 5 portage points, and there's no leader with me. I'm just by myself. So under the spirit of Jared's idea of being able to do whatever I want, let's say I want to advance uphill into a building. So that's going to be 4 movement factors, but I only have 2.
2.
I only have 2 if I'm carrying this, this heavy weapon. So, well, that's not a minimum move. That's an advance versus difficult terrain. So that's something different.
No, wait. I was going to say minimum move. You don't have enough movement factors to do that move. Oh, it's advance. Is that the difference?
Well, no, you were asking about moves. So let's keep it to the movement phase. So,
Okay.
so I guess I would have to do a minimum move,
It'd be
to
a
do
minimum
that.
move, right?
Minimum move.
and I'd be pinned in CX afterwards for doing so.
Yep.
But then I really spent 4 movement factors to do that
Oh,
in this example. So I'm trying to envision this case where you'd only have 1 and it's still a minimum move.
Mike? What was the case with 1?
Well, would you be considered to have spent 4 or 2 I mean, that's the question, right? In any circumstance, do you spend all the points that it took to move into the space? Are you considered to have spent all those points, or just what it was required of it? Right.
And it's saying what's required. No. Well, it's your answer was 2. So is this case it would
Well, 2 under the idea that it takes as many points as it does to move into the spot.
because it's
then
going
it's
into
considered
an
to-
adjacent building.
Right.
That's normal.
Okay, how about this? Here, we'll make it easy. Let's say you're a conscript. You're a conscript squad, so you only have 2 IPC. You're not CX, so you have 2 IPC. You're carrying a 5 portage point weapon. Also, conscript squads only have 3 movement factors, right?
Right.
So now you got, I guess, 1 left or 0 left. Right? You have 0, yeah, you have 0 movement factors. It's the movement phase if you're carrying this heavy weapon. So now you want to move into, like, let's just say an open ground hex for 1 movement factor, like Dave was talking about. I guess that would be a minimum move for that 1 movement factor in this example,
Yeah.
And for
because you have 0 left.
defensive fire, it count as 1. Next question.
Would it count as 1?
I
Or
think
is it-
that's what they're saying. It counts.
Is it non-assault? It's non-assault movement.
It's not assault
Right, but
movement.
it's
it
still
only
1
one's
movement
hex.
factor.
But it's still only going to draw. So the important point is it's still only going to draw 1 fire, 1 round of fire. Right. As opposed
Yeah,
to 2,
okay,
because
I
it's not
see,
spending
yeah,
more
yeah.
points than the
Yeah.
1 point it took to get
Yeah.
in there.
Then Team Spilky. If the enemy single man counter is unarmed, is a normal task check required for an overrun, infantry overrun?
Oh, the single man counter's unarmed, so he's like a white on the white counters?
Like a prisoner?
Yeah, okay, no, you don't have to. You can
You
just
are
cruise right in.
correct. Yes.
You can, again, wait, what Jared would have said it. I should have given him a chance. You can do what you want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
an ASL, most often you have the choice.
Just give it a
Kind of like
college try.
D&D, you can do anything, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I'll let you answer the next one, Jared. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I can't actually answer any of these questions, so I can
You're
only
doing good.
provide sarcastic remarks
you're doing pretty
with my
well.
knowledge level.
This is like college.
By the way, now that I know you're interested in the air support, if you ever play squad leader with me, we can play an air support scenario that has airplanes in it.
Yeah, Top Gun 2 got me pumped on the airplanes, so
It's a little different in squad leader.
yeah, I imagine. Yeah.
But you do come in and you can do what they call it, a
Flyby.
swing
Strafing.
or a strafing run. Fly by. Yeah.
Negative Maverick, the pattern is full.
Team Black Riders of the World of Death. The rule says the fighter has the option of tracing a line of sight to B, the point where the hexide crossed intersects the road used. Does this mean that you can always fire at that hexide or road point, no matter what the terrain in the hex is, as long as the target unit is using road movement? That's like if it's, the woods road,
Yes.
but it's saying any terrain. Mike?
As long as it's using the road. Yes.
Yes is correct. And then is that a snapshot?
Black Riders of the Night of Death.
That is not a snapshot.
That is correct. That is not a snapshot. Wow.
Man, I don't want to play against Mike. He's
Yeah, I
too
didn't-
good.
I didn't even understand the question. Let's see. Obviously, this is from the movement section. We're going to wrap this up here. And I can throw away these pages. And we still have enough material for next 100 shows.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Wow, we're covered.
This is all I got, guys.
Is
Hey,
the
Jared,
prize
so
for
we-
winning this? Go ahead.
You need to be back on episode 400 to finish the quiz show.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yes.
Team Spilky. Infantry may bypass concealed enemy units without invoking a 12.15. Oops, sorry. I don't know what that is. Does this mean that infantry can bypass a known enemy unit as well? I'll throw that out. Unless, Rich, you know what 12?
Yeah, I know the answer, but I'll let Jared answer, like I promised I would.
All
So
right,
here's
well,
what here's what
so
he
here's the
did.
thing.
Jared, let me tell you what
Guys,
he's
in
asking.
life, you can always make a choice, right? But some choices carry risks. And if you're bypassing an enemy, that sounds like a risky choice. Now you can, I'm going to go with, you can make that choice, but there may be consequences to that choice. Just like in life, if you make a choice, there may be some consequences to that choice.
And Rich?
Well, I agree with everything Jared said, except his answer is incorrect.
Okay,
So it would be no.
fair enough. But philosophically, I'm right.
But
All
let me
right.
tell you what he was asking. He was asking if there was a concealed unit, let's say in a building, which is unknown because you don't know about it. That's what the concealment count represents. Can you bypass it with your, with your guy,
Oh,
and you can if it's concealed because it might be a dummy, it might be nothing there and you don't know about it. But if it's a known unit, like the bad guy is there, you're not allowed to bypass his hex because you know that he's there for sure.
So there's a unit that's hidden. You don't know he's there, or you do know he's there, but he's hidden. So he's not really concealed then, right? Because you know he's there.
No, you see the counters there, but it could be 2 dummy counters. It could be nothing.
So if you don't know, you're allowed to bypass it.
Yes, but like you said, you're taking a big risk because if it's real, he can hit you with triple firepower.
Yeah, he'll
Boom.
kill you.
Could.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but the answer to the question is you can't do that. If you know that there's a unit there, you're saying you can't do that.
Correct.
And that ends Quiz Show, brought to you by Ginger Beer. I just like saying
Wow. I'm gonna have to try that sometime.
Ginger Beer. Mm.
Yeah, maybe I'll have that next time we play the Twilight Imperium or something.
And I want to thank Team Spilky for coming to play against the Black Orchid Horse Riders of Darkness.
Yeah, they're tough opponents, and they're just so dark. They're tough to play.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Forgot how much fun that was with those guys.
Yeah, that was really fun. Turned out really well.
Well, that's the show. 304.
Yep, 304 is in the can. 305 is going to be a humdinger.
I don't even know what we're gonna do. What do you?
No,
we'll have to
we're going to
talk.
humding something. We're going to hum and we're going to ding. I got the ding. I'm going to have to learn to hum.
Well, remember, this show is brought to you by Bounding Fire Productions, makers of all these fine products. Can you see them over my shoulder?
Yes, I see Operation Neptune there, and I see Corregidor there, and
Yeah, into the rubble here.
to the rubble. Great
Great stuff.
great products. If you guys, seriously, if you don't have any Bounding Fire, I can't imagine there's anybody that plays ASL that doesn't have any Bounding Fire stuff. Order it. You're going to love it. Even if you don't play it, you're going to love it.
You are gonna
great
love it.
stuff. The layouts are great. The quality of the materials is fantastic. And they're always willing to help you. If you have questions about something that they might put in their rules,
Yep, give them a
like
call.
Stu, give them a call. Tell them Jeff and Dave sent you, or Dave and Jeff.
So that's the show. Remember to
Roll low.
and rally well, but not when you're playing us. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.